Hi, I'm Terry Donnell, and this presentation will tell you a little bit about myself and about the program that I teach. We're going to talk about 4 main points in here, very briefly, I hope. I don't want to take up too much of your time. First, this is my 33rd year of teaching. I originally started out teaching in Arizona. I taught there for 6 years at a small town. In fact, the high school there, when it was at its peak, had 400 students. However, I came back here to work on my master's degree, and I fell into this job at Lee Summit North the 3rd year that it was open, and I have been here ever since. I was actually born in Rolla, Missouri, so I am a Missouri girl born here. And however, my parents, my dad transferred with his job quite a bit, so we lived in 5 states. I attended 8 different schools before graduating high school. And then I ended up actually graduating high school here in Missouri, where my parents had graduated high school from. As a result, I ended up going to Evangel University, where I got my Bachelor of Arts in Communications. And then several years later, when I came back here, I eventually got a Master of Arts in Library Science. And so I have taught a plethora of things. I've taught English classes 9 through 12. I have taught yearbook, newspaper, broadcast, and film. And along with high school, I've also taught several college and university courses. In fact, I still do dual credit for a couple of classes. And this is my family. Obviously, I like 3s. And these are some of the things, the high points that I enjoy. I love concerts, I love live theater, games, playing games, and I love the Minions. They make me laugh. But the thing that I love the most is I love traveling. I love traveling. I'm a foodie, and I love photography. I've been doing photography since I was in junior high, and so I love all of it. But that's my favorite thing, and traveling with friends or family is always my fave. Being a film teacher, I have tons of films that I love. These are some of the high points. Someone always asks me, well, what's my favorite film? I don't have a favorite film really. I could tell you a favorite film in the different genres, but as for one favorite film, there's just too many. Can't do it, cannot do it. So here's some info about my classes. I've kind of got it broken down into 3 parts here. First, almost everybody, with the exception of IB Film, has to take Intro to Broadcast Video Technology in order to move into the advanced classes. That class is the most traditional type class that I have. First semester, students will take notes while they practice other things, but we'll learn things such as law. I believe it's super important that they understand law and what their rights and responsibilities are as journalists, what they can and cannot do. We will also study different video shots, how to set up a shot, how to use a tripod. We learn how to edit, put together, how to interview, how to storytell. All of those things can all be transferred into either broadcast journalism or can be used in film. So we do that first semester. Second semester becomes the really fun part, because then the students can actually start working on their first broadcast for the news show. They actually work on a couple of little films, and so it's all hands-on second semester. After they get through the first year, passed, hopefully they're going to have loved it enough that they want to move into advanced. And so these are the 3 advanced classes I've got that they can take. So they can do advanced broadcast. That particular class literally does our monthly BTV news show, and that's what they do in there the whole time. If they're more film oriented, then they would want to go into advanced video technology. That's where we do a variety of films, PSAs, that kind of thing. And then if they're into sports, we have recently started a sports broadcasting class where we are live streaming some shows, and they'll learn how to do graphics and promos and that kind of stuff, and it's all geared towards sports. So those classes can all be taken for the remainder of the time that they're here. So for example, if I have a student who wants to be a broadcast journalist or just loves doing the news TV, they could actually, say if they came in as a freshman intro, then for the rest of high school, they could take advanced broadcast their next 3 years. Or if they want to do same thing with film or sports. I have several students who will try out all 3 of them and everything. And by the senior year, I have some seniors who literally are in every film or broadcast class that I have, because that's what they love doing. Now, IB Film, that can be taken as a junior or senior. It is a 2-year program, so really they want to start at their junior year. It is for IB film, and it is more in depth. So the difference between it and advanced video technology is in AVT, we focus a lot on just making the films. In IB, we focus on why were choices made. Like, why did a director decide to film it in black and white? Why did a director decide to film that shot a particular way? And so we really go more in depth. We study the history of film, starting all the way at the very beginning to modern day. It's a great class. It's probably one of my favorite classes, the IB film classes, just because I love the intellectual aspect of it. And so those are all of the areas that students can take, and they can take multiple times, multiple classes. So class information, equipment needed. So I do like students to have access to either a phone or a camera. I mean, their Chromebook can work too. It doesn't shoot the best video, but when we're here at school, students will usually be able to check out equipment. Unless we're doing a massive class project, we will use the video on the phones for that, and it just works, and that'll be intro. And but on virtual days, for example, we have an AMI day. Most of the time, what I have them do is I will have them actually do a project that day. For example, the first snow day we have, that project is almost always make a story of what you did for your AMI day, and then they can use their phones for that, and then they can edit them when they come back to school. So it's kind of it gets them off of the couch, right, and lets them be able to move around and do some stuff. The equipment that we have here, we'll have all kinds of equipment, cameras, tripods, microphones, all of it. Students will be able to check those out, but they are responsible for all damaged equipment. You will be receiving a form that comes home that will talk about cost and what that looks like if they damage something. Now, that is if they damage something due to negligence. If, for example, they are at a football game and they're shooting a video and all of a sudden they get run over and tackled by the team and it breaks the camera, I don't consider that to be negligence. It got damaged while they were truly working. If they take the camera, however, and set it on the bleachers during a volleyball or basketball game and the ball comes up and knocks it off and breaks it, that is negligence. And I've actually had both of those scenarios happen. So that's just kind of to let you know where that is. Editing, we do use professional editing software up here. We will primarily be using Final Cut Pro. However, Adobe Premiere and DaVinci Resolve is also available up here, and so they will also have access to that. There is a $20 materials fee for all media classes. That $20 goes to pay for SD cards and to pay for batteries. Those are the disposables that we have. Batteries, students go through those like crazy. Their SD cards will be given their SD card at the semester if they're in intro, and they'll be given the SD cards right off the bat in their advanced classes. So just to let you know that if for some reason the $20 is going to place a hardship on the family, please let me know that, because we can talk about that. I want everybody to have full access to everything in this class. My teaching philosophy, I believe that teaching is an opportunity to inspire and empower. And that is one of the big things I do in this, because we are, they learn skills in this class that they don't necessarily get to have in other classes. They learn leadership skills. They've got to be responsible. And so I empower them to actually be able to go out and problem solve. When there's technology involved, there's always issues. And so I want them to be able to go out and do it all on their own. I also believe that, we're in an era of fake news. There's always been fake news, but we've definitely heard those terms the last several years. I want students to know in journalism, I want them to understand the role that journalism has in democratic society, and more importantly, how to be responsible journalists. I think that is crucial for them to understand that. When studying film, I always tell the students, I want them to become active thinkers. So often, we're used to just sitting down and saying, woo, go and entertain me. I want my students to actually start thinking about what that film is saying. What are the messages that are in there? Because as we know, all media has messages. So when they leave, I hope that they have, forever changed from knowing that. I will tell them I'm going to ruin them for watching movies because I'm going to make them think about them. So that's kind of my philosophy in regards to these classes. I still use Remind. I will have codes on the syllabus for the students. because that's the way, like if I have, if something happens with homework and I decide to give them extended time, I will let them know that through Remind if I decided at night or during the day and I've already had them for classes. So I encourage them to make sure they're signed up for that. Also, if they have checked out equipment and I don't have it back, then I can hit them up that way as well. There's my phone number. There's my office phone. It's a direct line so that I can be reached. Also, I run most assignments through Schoology. However, there are certain assignments that I won't put into Schoology necessarily because it's an activity and they can't turn anything into me with that activity through Schoology. So Power School is the grade is where you're going to want to watch to get their actual grade. Schoology is going to show a grade, but it's not going to be the most accurate. Power School is where you're going to want to go for that information. And lastly, I hope everyone has a wonderful year. I look forward to having a great year with your students. If you've got questions or concerns, again, there's my email and there is my phone number. Thank you. Have a great day.